So Gran Turismo has been going on for, since 1998, and there has been thousands and thousands of cars come and go from the series. But there's one car in supercars fans' minds that will always stick with them because it was in there for 4 games, from GT3 all the way up until GT6. What car is that, might I say? Well, it is the 2000 Ford Falcon AU V8 supercar. Yes, there were Holdens and FPV vehicles released in GT4, but I'm talking about this one because it's a V8 supercar. So the specific supercar, was an FTR one from the year 2000. And if you want to go further into detail on it, is the Glenn Seaton / Neil Crompton one. Neil Crompton was co-driver for Glenn Seaton that year, so it would either be for the VI Aussie Mail 500 as it was called, or the FAI 1000. I'm going to go with the FAI 1000 being the more likely candidate for when this car was based. It would make its first appearance in Gran Turismo 3 in 2001. That car had about 180 cars in it, so it was one of the very few cars picked. It was even one of the very few new cars picked. There were a bunch of new cars, but this is one of them. It was branded as a Tickford, so it wasn't even licensed as a Ford. Tickford branded it, and it cost about $1.5 million in game. But you could also win it in the 150 mile super speedway event, which is probably the first endurance race you do, considering it's just an oval, so it's going in a circle, and the opponents are easy. From what I remember, it was just like tuned Japanese cars, so like your Nismo Skylines, your Spoon S2000s and shit like that. But it would be pretty good. It would come up against the likes of mainly the mid-tier race cars. I mean, being a 600 horsepower, low downforce thing, it's not going to come up against the 787B or the GT1 Toyota, but you get what I mean. So it would come up against the likes of the GT500 cars, so like the Supra, Skyline, and NSX, that's the one. But it would also come up against the ALMS cars, so the Viper and the Corvette race cars. But it was a decent competitor, and if you won it in the Super Speedway 150 mile race, you save about $1.5 million. GT4, it would make a few wee changes. It would be in the Ford Australia dealership, so not in the Tickford dealership, so it would be branded as a Ford. It would also lose a few things. It would lose the FTR logo, but it would also lose the names on the windows. So it still said the 5 on it, so you still knew it was a Seaton car, and a late 2000s car because it had the late 2000s front splitter on it, but that's all you could tell. It was quite cheap as well. It was 450,000 credits, when considering you can get credits easily in Gran Turismo. If you do a certain money-making tactic on Costa de Amalfi in the special conditions, you can probably get the car in about 2 or 3 attempts. So that's about half an hour, 35 minutes maybe. You have a V8 supercar Falcon, and because of how cheap it is, it would be a bit more useful in the game, or be a bit more usable in the game, might I say. But there were less events. There were more specific events in Gran Turismo 4 than Gran Turismo 3. So, I mean, and there were more cars, so the vehicle roster was broadened massively. In GT5, it changed again. It would be in the used car dealership, and acquirable after level 21. Remember the level things? Yeah, I didn't play GT5 when it first came out, but when I did not like the level system. But if you were under level 21, it was highly unlikely you were going to get this car anyway, because it cost 1.2 million. Yeah, they crept the price back up again, annoyingly enough, and it would probably be even less usable, because being a standard car, there's going to be a lot of people being like, ew, it's got no fucking interior, it's got no detail, why does it look so 2001 like? I don't want to use that thing, I'll use a Suzuki Cappuccino or whatever else was premium. And it would stay like that in GT6 as well. GT6 would be its last appearance. Now it would be in the Ford dealership. So it never stayed in one dealership, this thing. It was in the Tickford dealership, then it was in the Ford Australia dealership, then it was in the used dealership, then it's back in the Ford everything dealership. And it cost 1.15 million, so a slight discount on the GT5 price. And the usability was still okay. It was still your mid-tier niche race car, a bit like the GLA Vertigo, except with less horsepower, and doesn't accidentally come up against LMP1 cars. When do I think it was probably best? Probably GT3, it was probably at its best, because, I mean, it was one of the very few cars in that game, and also the fact that you could win it for free, so you had a chance of using it. But that's my video on the GT Gran Turismo V8 Supercar. Is there any other gaming V8 Supercar things you'd like for me to talk about? Maybe when they were in Forza, maybe the actual games of them. Need for Speed had road cars for the HSV in Tickford? Anything else? Comment down below, or somewhere else, wherever. This is a YouTube video. I'm on YouTube. Hi.